Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 56 of All the Gear But No Idea, the greatest South Australian fishing podcast. Rhodey, great to be here with you.
Tis always great to talk fishing.
Yes, absolutely it is, and we've got a fantastic guest this week with Chaz Selleck, preferably known as Chaz, contributor of the SA Angler podcast and an absolute keen fisherwoman, which we are very much looking forward to having a chat with her later on the show, aren't we?
Yes, Diz. She is a very keen angler. I am going to have a word to her about stealing our spot on the front cover.
Yes.
Of that recent episode. Her and her bronze whaler.
Yes.
Trumped us and our Murray cod.
Do you think if we slip the men fourths to 50 each, they'll put us on the front cover, or do you reckon what's it going to take?
I don't know, but I'm flat. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to hide that when I talk to Chaz.
We need to work on our content or bribe the editors, one or the other. But, it was a spectacular shot on the front of the mag, a big bronzy.
Yeah, and they sighted them and then they targeted them from there. So that's pretty good going.
Yes, don't give too much away, Rhodey. We want the listeners to have a bit of suspense about it.
I'm sure the listeners have already read SA Angler. They're all keen readers, Diz.
Absolutely. Rhodey, let's get on to oranges and lemons, mate, before we get stuck into the rest of today's episode. And I'll kick us off with an orange. And look, I'm not going to dive through the history books here of BOM and suggest that we've had continually good weather over the Easter long weekend forever. But certainly the last 2 years, in my memory, has been exceptionally good weather over Easter. And this year was no different, Rhodey. It was a fantastic weekend, calm winds, sunny days. Just a great weekend for getting out and about, enjoying some fishing and boating if that's what you're into, or getting away and camping and that sort of thing. You'd agree?
Yes, Diz, it was beautiful. We both got a little bit of fishing in over Easter. It wouldn't have said it was a full 4 days fishing extravaganza, but it was. We did get the boat wet.
Yes.
And yes, Diz, the weather played the game. So there's nothing, there's so many of those weekends where it's beautiful, sunny, flat conditions all week and then blowing a gale on the weekend. Yes. So it was good that on probably the biggest sort of long weekend of the year, the weather gods were kind.
Certainly was, Rhodey. What was your orange?
Look, Diz, I've just been returned from Melbourne for the took a bit of a long weekend. It wasn't an official long weekend, but...
I was going to say, mate, nice long weekend for you. It wasn't for the rest of us.
Yeah, I made it 3 long weekends in a row. So, yeah, good to travel again, Diz.
Yeah, interesting. First flight for young Lil?
Yes, she loved the flight. So, I took her over to Melbourne, cousin's wedding. Congratulations to our Simon and Katrina.
Yeah.
And, it's got up with all the family and...
Good show, bit of dance floor action, couple of beers. Or...
Yeah, a couple of beers, bit of carry on,
Beautiful.
So, yeah, it is good to travel again. Now this COVID thing's... Well, I'm not sure it's easing off, but no one seems to care about it anymore, so we're just sort of getting on with life.
Yes, that's exactly right, Rhodey. Okay, Rhodey, well, I'll kick us off with the lemons, and I'll just paint you a bit of a picture here.
Yeah, Diz, we're just going to go into a quick little interlude of Parenting 101 with Diz.
Yeah. But I'm going to bring it back to fishing because we've all been out on the boat and you've sort of been, nature's called, and for us blokes, I guess, if it's number 1, you're lucky enough just to be able to sort of go over the side or something like that. But when number 2 starts calling out in the middle of nowhere, you are faced with a bit of a predicament. Do you sort of hang over the edge? Do you go sort of in the bucket? That sort of dilemma crosses your mind. But something my son has faced over the last 6 days is a severe bout of constipation and hasn't been able to shit for 6 days. Big guy. And the other side of that 6 days was an absolute shit volcano, which was not pleasant.
And can we confirm that he broke the drought at the Watervale pub?
He did break the drought at the Watervale pub.
We were having a nice weekend in Clare.
I did say to Millie that if this was ever going to happen, it would be at the most inconvenient time, either while driving or when we were out and about. And sure enough, right in the middle of lunch, presto.
And Dizzy, I was actually confused, that this is quite a normal thing. When you said 6 days, I thought you were taking the piss.
It's still unconfirmed whether it is a normal thing or not, to be totally fair. But anyway, let's not delve too much into the parenting side of this podcast, Rody. And why don't you give the listeners your lemon?
This is a bit of I suppose it's a bittersweet one, really. Look, we fired up the fire tonight, Diz, and it is nice to have a fire.
Oh yeah.
Real nice heat, something good to look at, good feel to the house. But Adelaide's bloody turned into Antarctica this week. It is cold out there.
Oh yeah.
And this is a tough time of year because it's only getting worse, but Jesus, it's cold.
Oh yeah, it is frosty out there.
So the heat is good, but I'm not feeling that good about the next 3 or 4 months.
The Eskimos would feel right at home out there.
Oh, it's not good at all, Diz. Not good at all.
It's certainly not. Righty, let's move on to the merch, because we did talk about briefly in our oranges and lemons about the Easter long weekend, and as we usually do, and keep these sort of listeners at home engaged, we run a bit of a fishing competition.
We did, Diz. We've got a little share your photo sort of comp going on.
Yeah, no, it's good. And Righty, who was the winner and what was the pick of?
Very deserving winner was Fishing Sister. So she's got an Instagram page, some videos, some merch.
Okay.
So, and she's sent us a lot of pictures and kept us up to date with her fishing antics over the years.
Very good.
And she caught a nice Flurio Peninsula. It was a couple of sweet, Diz.
Okay, so that would make Fraser really jealous.
It would, Diz. He's a keen, sweet fisherman, but outdone by Fishing Sister and a good photo. So she won a merch pack.
Well done, Fishing Sister. That's excellent news. And of course, you can always hit us up for the merch. We've still got some grey caps.
We do, Diz.
And, a bit of stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, look, we're still sort of working through the winter range.
Oh, we certainly are. Righty, let's get into the news, because there's a little bit to get through. I'm sure just the same as everybody else around this country, their news feed and TV and radio is just absolutely clogged full of election paraphernalia.
Yeah, Diz, and look, to be totally honest with you, after the state election, I've lost a bit of interest on the federal election.
Yeah, I'm fully over it.
But we did catch this, that the Morrison government has committed an additional $20 million if they get up to the recreational fishing and camping facilities program.
Yep.
So they've said they'll provide more than 100 new programs across Australia's coastal and regional communities to extend boat ramps, jetties, cleaning stations, disability accessible toilet blocks and campground facility upgrades.
And ScoMo was just sort of in there working the media a bit in a BCF store, just spinning a few yarns, basically showing everybody that he knows nothing.
Was he actually in a BCF store?
He was.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't cutting anyone's hair this time. I don't know if Labor is promising something similar. I haven't seen that particularly.
Most of the time, one side of the traditional, the sort of more predominant political parties will come out and the other one will strike back with the same sort of commitment and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I suppose the other thing is they can promise all they like, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, good shout.
But anyway, Diz, that is theoretically a good news story if the Liberals are to be re-elected.
Yes.
And hopefully a fair chunk of that goes to South Australia.
Yeah, fingers
crossed.
Suppose
that's the other thing.
Probably not. Rhodey, let's move on to a bit more of a sobering note, I suppose. There was an Althorpe's rescue.
Yeah.
And this happened
a couple of weeks ago, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. And, SA Angler, as we follow on Facebook, had sort of made an announcement about whether there was, basically asking for some confirmed reports of a boat that had apparently sunk out near Althorpe's.
Yep.
And basically wishing all those people well. And Stu Ferenczi, great friend of the show,
yep.
was was very much across this. Somebody who he knew and is a well-known young fisho, and everything seemed to be okay. There was a helicopter rescue. Fortunately, they were close to land.
I think they were basically on land.
Yes.
I think the story was they were tied up to the jetty there, Diz.
Yes.
And something somehow punctured their hull. So we're not quite sure what happened, whether the wind changed and maybe rubbed against the jetty in an unfortunate way.
I suppose it
got
just
a bit
goes
rougher
to
than
show
predicted, maybe.
There's any number of things that can go wrong while you're out on the water.
Exactly
but fortunately, everybody was okay. They're back on land.
I think they got helicoptered back to land.
Everyone's safe and sound, which is, as I say, the most important thing.
And you talked about Stu getting involved on that Facebook post. Simon Green from Savage Tackle was also commenting and had a bit to contribute, and as did Benji Angel from Drossen.
Yep.
From Team Mixed Jiggers.
Yep. So those three people, all previous guests of the show, but very well connected in the wreck fishing scene, and dare I say it, down on the York Peninsula as well.
And good to see lots of wreck anglers showing concern for those in trouble.
As always, Rhodey. Righto, Rhodey, let's talk to the listeners about the new SA Angler format, because this is exciting news.
It is, Diz, and it makes sense to me. They're jumping from... It's currently a bi-monthly article, magazine, so it comes out every 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
They're changing from 6 editions a year to 4 editions a year to fit in line with the seasons, Diz.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is a big change. So they're going to move sort of to your summer, autumn, winter, spring. Mm-hmm. So every 3 months. And they've also talked about some more regular contributors. So Jack Laidlaw will be continuing with his wheeling and reeling column.
Right.
Andrew Van Rynveld will maintain the trailer tips. They're going to keep Leuben Pfeiffer and Jamie Crawford involved. And tonight's guest, Chaz Selleck, is going to contribute regularly about female-orientated fishing topics.
Which is excellent to hear.
And of course, Diz, we're going to keep chipping in our 2 cents.
Yeah. We'll absolutely play our role.
We gave ourselves the winter edition off as we sort out these babies.
Yes.
But we've got something in the...
getting in the way of a good SA Angler article.
We've got we're going to do a bit of a whiting article in York Peninsula Whiting. We're going to talk about in the spring edition.
Beautiful.
So, Diz, the other thing is, instead of the usual 92 pages, the New Look magazine will run a minimum of 116 to accommodate for extra feature stories and columns. Yeah. And it's also talking about the magazine's going to grow. It's going to be A4 size. And it's going to be perfect bound, which means instead of basic staples, the magazine will be glued with a square spine that makes it more rigid and durable for those who collect each edition religiously.
Wow, excellent.
So, Diz, that is the SA Angler news.
Fantastic news there, Rhodey. We look forward to the new format. We look forward to hopefully being able to contribute. And like you say, we'll hear more from Chaz later on.
We will, Diz. Now, this is... what do we got next?
Rhodey, we're talking about the Dodge Tides phenomenon, and this is something that you put a little poll up on Facebook and Instagram, I believe it may have been, about whether we were the only people, us included, and don't forget our name is All the Gear, but absolutely no idea, whether we were the only people who knew about this. So, can you release to us around what the poll results were, or do you need a bit more time?
No, I can give you the results, Diz. I will tell you that 62% of people answered yes to my question of did you know Dodge Tides were an Adelaide thing, meaning 38% voted no.
Okay, interesting, because my old man grew up in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And when I had a chat with him about this, he said, yeah, obviously. Obviously, I knew that Adelaide was, the Dodge Tide phenomenon was weird, but I guess it's not something you talk about too commonly. But I suppose for somebody who's grown up and only fished exclusively in Adelaide, it is definitely something that you get used to, and some people, they absolutely dread the Dodge tides because they sort of believe it sort of quietens the fish down. Gav, our great friend down there at Kangaroo Island Fishing Adventures, is certainly a true believer that things slow down over a Dodge tide. We have proved it wrong a couple of times and had a good successful day out on the water when the tide was dodging. But I will just take a bit of a snapshot of that ABC article that you shared.
Yeah, Diz, can you tell us why that Dodge tides are an Adelaide thing?
Well, look, don't embarrass me around the technical side of things, but what I do think is worthwhile is that the actual term Dodge tide dates back to Matthew Flinders.
Yep.
Roadie. So Flinders noticed that tides were missing.
Yep.
At usual times that he would expect, and several times throughout the year. And so he coined that term, that the tide was dodging.
Did you ever buy that Matthew Flinders book you talked a big game about when we were on Eyre Peninsula?
Oh, I didn't, but I'm always intrigued by a bit of Matthew Flinders.
You took a real fascination to the man.
Yeah, I did. He's a great guy.
But Diz, it's to do with the geography of Adelaide?
Yeah, so, I mean, tides, as we know, they're driven by moon and the sun. And the moon does have twice the effect of the sun on the tides. We know that. And basically, the symmetry of the oceans and how the tidal waves respond affects the sun and moon equally.
Yep.
Which leads to the dodging of the tide.
And Diz, there
little to no movement. So it's not zero movement.
Yeah, and often
but
there's
it might
a little
be
bit,
like, maybe 0.1 of a metre or 0.2 of a metre over the course of the day, when usually, I think actually we get our biggest tides of the year around this time of the year. You get 2.8, 2.9 metre tides around this time of year, but then naturally we move into a dodging cycle. So, it's an interesting one.
And the other places around the world, so the Gulf of Mexico has something very similar.
Okay.
And also, possibly some link to Nova Scotia and the Gulf of Carpentaria that do have these sort of Dodge tides, whether or not they're called this in those localities, Diz.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you make a good point there. It's interesting because it's not a common thing. It's quite unique, and yes, interesting one for little old South Australia.
And it's easy to not know that too if you only go and fish interstate for a week here or a day there.
Yeah.
You'd have to fish somewhere for a whole month, I suppose, to figure out actually there's been no Dodge tide here in the last month.
Yeah, what's going on?
But I suppose the other interesting part about this, Diz, is this. I'm not even sure how we stumbled upon this information, but we've somehow included a 2017 ABC News article in our news segment.
Have we?
Yeah, 2017 when that article came out. And we just stumbled upon it because we were Googling something that we didn't quite believe at the time.
Goodness me. Well, there you go. All the Gear But No Idea podcast, always bringing you up-to-date news.
So if anyone has any other 2017 news articles they'd like us to
they
include,
feel like bringing back into the mainstream, just let us know. Right, already, we've spent enough talking about the Dodge tides. Let's move on to the O'Sullivan's Beach boat ramp update, because this is something that the Labor South Australian government has been passionate about. Chris Picton, Katrine Hildyard down there in the great parts of Karna and Raynell have been advocating for this for a long time. And we've got a bit of an update from the mayor.
Yeah, Diz, you're the local down that way. So this has been updated, saying that they'll be transitioning to a cashless online permit system.
Yep.
And an upgrade of the facility is due to take place this year, and there'll be an expression of interest process for the vacant kiosk.
Interesting.
So, look, Diz,
It'll be
that's...
interesting to see whether somebody moves in there, Rhodey.
It'd be good if they did.
Yes, it certainly would be. Rhodey, let's talk about the KI Fishing Adventures. I briefly mentioned Gav a minute ago when we were talking about Dodge tides. They have won a fantastic award and a very well-deserving small business.
You did. So this is... I don't know if you saw all the AFL players doing their Telstra plugs.
Yep.
They were annoying everyone on Instagram there for a while, but some good has come of it, Diz, because Brian BT Taylor and Tom Rockcliffe travelled over the island to congratulate Gavin Solly and his team on winning the Telstra Big Plug for Small Businesses 2022 prize.
Amazing.
It's great, Diz. So I think that was some of the Power Boys. Tommy Jonas and the crew went over there.
Yeah. What do you reckon Gavin BT would get along like throughout the day?
Mate, I hope Gav took BT out and BT carried on about how good the fishing was.
Yeah, I reckon he would have. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall that day.
So I saw a video on Telstra video that Ollie Wines called up Alex and Gav to congratulate them and let them know that they'd won, and they were wrapped. So
absolutely, of course you would be.
So they're having a clip about their business that will feature on Friday Night Footy this week on Channel 7, the Port versus Bulldogs game. So that's going to really showcase their business, and I'm sure that's going to be great for their bookings.
I mean, everybody's broadcasted nationally, but even more sort of, I suppose, with those people who visit locally and get to see that. If you haven't been to KI and you're keen to get over there on a bit of an adventure, well, getting out with Gav and the team there is an absolute no-brainer.
And, given the issues that KI's had in terms of COVID, bushfires, etc., it's great to see some positive things coming of it.
Bit of welcomed relief, I'd say, Rody.
All right, Diz. Next one is the Lower Murray Lure Fishing Club. Every time we talk about this group on the podcast, I have a bit of trouble saying their name.
Yes.
But I think I nailed it there. They have got their Callip Classic this weekend.
Yep.
May 7th.
Yep.
At Marook Riverfront Reserve. It's a cast and retrieve lure only competition.
Yep.
Entry $80 per team, includes dinner Saturday night.
Yes, excellent. And most people do refer to it as the LMLFC, Rody.
Yep.
Which certainly is easier than the long-winded name you did get tongue-twisted over earlier, but a great weekend. We look forward to seeing who the prizes go to and what sort of fish are caught out of that comp. What sort of, how good the fishing is for the weekend. So watch this space. We'll be able to report on that next episode.
Yeah, and I believe there's a land-based and a kayak division.
Yes.
So we will keep our eyes on this, Diz. And I know Dan Way, the fishing guru, is involved as a sponsor. So good on him.
Absolutely. Very well done. Rody, that just about wraps up the fishing news segment this week.
It does, Diz. It's been action-packed. It has been a little bit of a longer gap between episodes, but that's meant that there's all the more news to bring to you.
Which is good, and so that just brings us into this time now where we should get our guest on for the week, and let's hear all about Chaz's fishing adventures.
All right, Diz, we are very lucky to be joined today by Chaz, or formerly Charity Selleck, of SA Angler fame. Welcome to the show, Chaz.
G'day, cheers, thanks for having me.
No worries, thanks for coming on the show, Chaz, and we very much look forward to hearing about everything you've been up to and your latest fishing adventures. I'm sure a lot of people have caught up with those in SA Angler, but as we do with all of our guests, let's get stuck into those 5 questions. So tell us about your best fish.
Yeah, sounds good. There's a few good fish that I like, but I think there's one that's most recent. So a couple of months ago, I went out with Ash, who's an absolute guru. He does charters out of Coffins.
Yeah.
I was really lucky as well on the charter. I got to catch up with Jamie Crawford, which, legend of the game, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And Caleb Murray as well, who does the fishing in the dark. So
Yeah, 2 of our former guests there, Chaz.
yeah, I actually realised that today when I was sort of having to think about what I'd say. I was like, oh, yeah, I realised I've done some podcasts with them. But, no, bloody awesome blokes. And, made for a good day. But, yeah, so we left out early in the morning and basically we're going to sort of target kings and sambos.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to get one on a jig because I haven't yet. So, plus that feeling of when you get a hit on a jig is just unreal. So, working up to that for the day, and it got to about 4 in the arvo. So, you know, a full day jigging. My hands were sore, like pretty well blistered by this stage. Croft had a few good fish. Caleb had a wicked day as well, like a few kings of the sambos. And then also Caleb's mate had managed to get onto some decent fish, and by that stage all I'd caught was a Sergeant Baker, so I was feeling like pretty sorry for myself. And then, Ash called the last drift of the day, and thankfully I managed to get onto a fish. So, unfortunately it wasn't on the jig, but still fought really good. As I was bringing it up, there was someone that was snagged on the bottom, plus a good tangle that was happening on my line. So it was getting pretty serious, and the suspense was really intense at that stage. But, managed to land a sambo. I think it was 121 in the end. So, real fat, healthy fish too. So
Good going.
Yeah, unreal too. And at the time, my dad had just passed away only 2 days prior. So I think that's what makes it such a amazing fish, because it's something that I'd sort of set out to catch for a while. And, just leading up to that, you know, Dad and I shared a lot of fishing together and stuff. So, big shout out to Caleb and that, because he'd sort of been paid for the day and all of that. So I was just a last minute tag along, and all credit to the blokes for letting me slot in. But that's probably my best fish at this stage.
Yeah, we're very sorry to hear about your dad, but good to catch best for last. Save the best for last.
Yeah, I know, that's it. It was a bit like that, and like the last drift, I could not believe it. I was just so amped.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a memorable day too. Like, just to have that, you'll never forget that day, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely not. And I was, you know, usually pretty talkative and stuff at the start, and then towards the end of the day I was pretty quiet. So, managed to have a beer on the way in and feel a bit better. But
And Chaz, tell us, what's your favourite thing about fishing?
This is a hard question. You ask hard questions. Well, I guess aside from the social aspect, which is awesome, like, and the crazy feeling what you get, like all the adrenaline and everything. I guess just the diversity of the sport itself. There's so many different types and so many methods of fishing. You know, broad locations. You get to get out in nature, which is just beautiful. I prefer that than city lights any day. And they're just, endless species, different goals to set. You can involve everyone in it, your family and friends. And I guess, well, with lack of better explanation, I guess you don't have to be genetically gifted to be able to participate in fishing. So, just so many different avenues, which is awesome. Can always challenge yourself.
Yeah, that's for sure. And once you start going down that rabbit hole, it's dangerous, because you can get so addicted.
Super addictive.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, that's awesome. Well, Chaz, tell us about some of your first fishing memories, or what got you into fishing.
So as I said before, Dad's a huge reason why I'm now fishing obsessed. We shared such an incredible bond over fishing from when I was young. So, and it was, just me and him for a lot of our lives. So it was just, got me hooked without a intended pun there, but hooked on fishing. And then I guess that's where my first memory is, which, being down lower southeast, we didn't live too far from the border. So we did a fair bit of fishing on the Nelson River. This is when I was a little girl. Yeah. And my old man's friend, he had a shack down in Donovan's. So we'd go there a bit. And I remember this one time, so this is when I first started realising what fishing was. And we'd go down there, and it got later in the night, and Dad had put the light into the water, and all the bugs and everything were coming around, and, you'd see little brim and mullet and stuff come through. And I was a pretty crazy little child. Like, I could not sit still for anything. So, but I remember when I seen that fish, I was determined that I'm going to catch one of them. Yeah. So I sat out there with my rod, and Dad ended up going to the pub with a few of his mates, and one of his mates babysat me. And my sister was there, but she's in bed, and I sat out there all night, and then this massive mullet come along, and I don't know whether it was just a huge fish or I was just really small, But I spent so long trying to catch this thing like it was not hungry. And finally, I managed to just, I don't even know if I just wound him really quickly and just jacked it. But got it in, and I remember like carrying it inside the sliding door, and I was, a couple of Dad's mates were still up and Dad was in bed, and I just was like yelling, and they went in and I was like, woke Dad up, like put it in his face and stuff. And I just remember like everyone was cracking up laughing. But that kind of just sits in my brain a bit.
There's nothing like waking the rest of the group up when you've had a bit of success and they've missed out on all the fun, is there?
Yeah, I know, and over a mullet.
Love it. And Chaz, what's your favourite sort of fishing and why?
I guess, like I said, I grew up doing a bit of offshore fishing and stuff through Port Mac, so I've done a fair bit of that, which, not that I don't still love it, drifting out to other things at the moment. And because my partner's down here, he's done a heap of land-based fishing, so a bit more of that with him, learn a bit more about all of that type of fishing, which I love. So anything sort of lure-based is unreal, like, top water, man, that's insane. Even smaller fish, it's such good fun. And then I guess just in general, surf fishing, just because it's one of my all-time favourites. I'm yet to land the dream fish, but it's just good because you can bring mates down that don't really enjoy fishing that much, and they'll sit around the fire and have a few drinks and stuff. So pretty chilled out fishing.
Yeah, awesome. And Chaz, you've already told us a funny fishing story with the mullet that went into your dad's room, but have you got another one for us, or tell us about the one that got away?
This is also a hard question because I feel like there's always funny stories, especially when beers are involved with fishing.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I've had a few of them, but I guess one I haven't really talked about that much is I think it was a couple of years ago, I went down to the Curragh and we were doing a surf fishing session, so chasing mulloway down there, and we had drinks all through the day and it was slow, like no one had caught anything, and got towards like the end of the night, and you can imagine we were in a bit of a state by that stage, and I was like, I better go down and sort of check the baits, and I started walking down, and one of my mates grabbed like just one of my other rods out as like a flip stick with a little Halco twisty on it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll flip this way, you check your bait. And I'm like, no worries, whatever. Had my head torch on. Went down to the water, and as I sort of like started to try and like walk backwards to like pull the grapple out, I just felt my head just like go straight forward, like so fast. And it was like I kind of felt something, but I was like, what the heck was that? I was in shock. And I looked up, and because I had my head torch on, my mate didn't have one on, and he was looking at me straight in the face with literally, I kid you not, holding the rod behind his head, and I could just see part of the line coming straight towards me. And he just ripped it forward as hard as he could, and turns out that the hook had like just on the treble, there's two of them hooked on the treble, was sitting sort of in my hat, and it just pierced my ear. But as he like ripped the rod forward, because obviously he couldn't see me, he just knew it was stuck on something, and ripped it forward, and it went through my ear. So then so it gets better. So then we were come back to the campfire, and I was saying to everybody, like, we need to find the pliers because I need to cut these barbs off, because one was completely through. And everyone's laughing, and anyways, no one could find the pliers anyways. Like, they're somewhere across the beach, and it's dark by this stage. Everyone's had beers. So we had to just cut the line off, and then I just slept the line with the Halco twisty in my ear. And then, couldn't find the pliers in the morning either, but I think I stopped in at Servo on the way back and got a pair and managed to get it out. Luckily, no infection and everything. So
that's good.
Once you'd had the Halco in your ear for 24 hours, did you think about just sticking with it as an earring?
No, she was throbbing by the morning.
I can imagine.
Well, that would have been a sight for the servo operator walking through with a lure.
I know.
Too good.
The funny thing is, though, we also had to like cut off the my hat, like what I was wearing, just to be able to take that off my head as well. So it was a bit of surgery going on in front of the fire.
Oh, that's classic.
It sounds like you had more luck on the beers than the fishing then.
Oh, 100%. Usually do.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Chaz, awesome stuff. Well, thanks for answering those questions. Let's get into a bit of stuff that other sort of fishing that you've been up to. And we are always following along with all the SA Angler news and magazines. And, of course, the most recent announcement about their new format and yourself becoming a regular contributor to the magazine. That's really exciting news. How did all that come about, Chaz?
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty exciting. Everyone else is congratulating me. I just kind of feel like I'm going about the daily life and just writing about fishing. But no, I had one of the blokes sort of hit me up a while ago, and then I ended up doing that shark article, which was with my partner Ozzy. We'd gotten out just for a day and just sort of wrote about that. And I kind of just, I guess I've been doing uni now, so I'm in my last year of uni, and it's a lot of our assignments and stuff are written very differently. So I remember writing it thinking, this is so weird writing from like a first person.
Yeah.
But I just had that submitted, and then one of the blokes sort of like Brett was talking to me through Instagram and stuff and said, if you ever have anything else you're keen on doing. So I've just written another one for this next article, which was just a bit of a recap on a mate's charter we did in Marion Bay for a friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And then, he just kind of pitched it to the idea to me, and I was like, that'd be awesome. So there's not a lot of, women sort of focus within fishing and stuff. So it'd be good to sort of have a different outlook, and I'm not sure where I'll run with it yet, but I've got a few different ideas up my sleeve. So hopefully we can, get a bit of female representation as well, and that's pretty much, I guess, the focus of it all, but pretty excited.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we do want to hear the story about that shark from the front page of SA Angler, but before we get to that, we are a little bit flat that your shark picture trumped our Murray cod. We want to have a word with you. What's going on?
I don't know.
We'll have to talk to the editor.
That was what was that, Dizzy? I think that might have been our third article, and every time we say, we're going to get the front cover this time, and it just doesn't quite happen.
Yeah. And you got beaten by a chick.
We did.
Yeah. We need to work on our content, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Just got to Photoshop your photos or something.
All right, now tell us about the shark story, Chaz. It's a good catch.
Yeah, so I sort of come down for that full summer, obviously, but with Ozzy, my partner.
Yep.
He's going to hate me for calling him Ozzy because all of his mates call him Jack. Yep. And literally, when I first started talking to him, it was always Ozzy Fisher because that was his YouTube. So all my mates now call him that. It's insane, but I'm going to get trouble for that. But anyways, so I kind of said to him, like, I really want to catch a big shark because I'd never caught a big shark. We don't really do that a lot back home or anything. And we spent so long chasing them. It's insane. Like, so many different methods and ways that we're trying to catch them. And he could not believe it because he's caught plenty and he's like, this is just stupid. And, it was the last day before I had to go back to Adelaide. And we just happened to stumble across a massive school of salmon and, got the drone up and we're like, holy heck. I think at one time we seen like probably 4, 5, 6 of them. I reckon there would have been more out there.
Yeah, wow.
And bigger ones than we'd caught. But so I got a crack at the first one, and then he got the second one in, and then we both shared the effort on the last one, and the reel buggered up right. I'm sure we didn't get footage of this, but the reel stuffed up right as it was sort of, I reckon for me, probably about just over belly button height in the water where the shark was, and there was no way of winding it or anything. So I had to pretty well dive on it with the tail rope, and Ozzy's on the beach just screaming at me. And then I just managed to get it. It was a clutch moment. I'm pretty proud of it. But copped a fair bit of shark rash, and then that was the day. And we probably could have caught 1 or 2 more, but we were just buggered.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it'll make some good drone footage, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah, Aussie and technology doesn't really agree that well, and it was we were having a little bit of difficulty with that, with it connecting with the phone. So we used to get a bit, but then she was all pretty busy from there on. So
yeah, I bet, buddy. 3 sharks. That's a big day.
and it wasn't even towards. It was. I don't even know what time we started catching. It was probably like 1 or 2 in the arvo. So she was hectic.
Serious session.
Yeah.
Serious session. So
it was mad.
Yeah, Chaz, tell us about obviously getting in the SA Angler and being a bit of a voice for female fishing and giving a different perspective is really good. Are you sort of seeing that now? Like, you've moved down to a new area, you've got plenty of like female friends that are into fishing, or is it sort of growing? What do you think about that?
Well, it's definitely growing.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But I know, like, from growing up when I was young, like, I didn't have a lot of female friends that liked fishing. There wasn't actually as many blokes that was into it as me, so which I don't think is a huge surprise. But and I even my girlfriends at school, I never wanted to say that I was heaps into fishing because I didn't want to come across that weird fishing girl. But it's definitely changing now. I know moving here, I still haven't I've met a couple girls that are keen on it.
Yeah.
And so, like, hoping to sort of catch up with them and go for a fish at some stage. But it's definitely becoming more popular, and hopefully, I mean, there's actually a large percentage of women that enjoy fishing as well, and that participate in fishing and commercial fishing, which I think it's nearly a third or just over a third. So when you put it that way, it's, I guess that's what I sort of want to talk about as well with this article and everything, is just sort of making it aware how prevalent it is, and hopefully get a bit more exposure and whatnot for it. But there's a few things girls face and that boys don't, so I'll cover that in the article. And so hopefully she all works out good. But
we look forward to reading all the future articles, and I'm sure our partners who do come out fishing with us a bit might learn a thing or two about some of your female fishing tips.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there'll be a few. I'll get this sort of introduction one done out of the way, but there'll be a few to come. But I've been just flat out fishing at the moment, so sort of in between that.
Yeah. And Chaz, you've talked a bit about your partner Aussie. Can you tell us who is the better fisher person?
I'm going to be honest here. He's better. We've both done different types of fishing and stuff, so I'm definitely learning a lot from him. But we went out at the moment, I'm absolutely just flat-headed obsessed. So got the flatty fever. So we've been going out a heap together, and we went out a couple of days ago and we're sort of counting each other's, having a competition.
Who took the chockies?
It was pretty close. He managed to get the bigger fish by about a centimetre or two, not even that. But I got the top 4 biggest after that. So.
Well, he's not here, so you could have told us whatever you liked. You missed your chance.
You had a free hit there.
I know, I bloody well should. No, he's honestly, I do love fishing, and I constantly learning, but he's obsessed. He's
right,
next
we
level.
might have to add him to our list of future guests then, Diz.
Yes.
Absolutely. He'll hate me for dobbing him in, but do it.
And look, while we're on that competitive nature, Chaz, I thought I'd let you know that I actually am a better fisherman than Brody as well. Just if you're wondering. Usually always catch more. Nah.
This is clearly going down the comedy pathway here.
Chaz.
We'll have to all go out for a fish together then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're in.
Chaz, tell us about, you sort of mentioned you grew up in the lower southeast and you're now over on the lovely Eyre Peninsula there doing some fishing, and like you said, very different parts of the world, but what's been your favourite so far? Has it just been checking out the new area and enjoying seeing everything it's got to offer?
Yeah, well, I guess down Mount Gambier is bloody freezing all year round and rains and it's windy. So, it had to be pretty special to sort of get out. I do a bit of diving as well. My dad was an ab diver for many years. So, it's beautiful diving and everything down there, but it's hard to find good days. So, I guess even, this time now to be able just go out and have sort of, do some land-based fishing and stuff. It's a lot harder back home. So I've enjoyed doing that, targeting a lot of other species in doing that too, which has been really good. And then I think that's the best thing is I like to just tick fish off the list. So obviously set some standards for the type of fish, but yeah, tick them off the list. And I'm heading to Darwin and then the Northern Territory, like up further north, sort of Nhulunbuy as well, for the next few months for placement.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so I've already, I just put in another big order the other day for getting some lures and poppers and things like that. So I'm really dead keen on doing that when I get up there. So, just exploring, I guess, going all the different places.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting, Chaz, with the Darwin plans. We were going to ask you what your fishing plans are for the future, so you've sort of summed up the next few months.
There you go.
But tell us what's on the bucket list for the Eyre Peninsula? What's something you want to do over there?
I guess I've had this little boat that I've been doing up for a while, which was my granddad's old boat. So,
nice.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a fair while. It's just a smaller sort of fiberglass, homemade boat. But I'm hoping to get that out and get some fish in there, potentially king and close, which would be it. I can't express to you how much that would mean. That would be unreal. But aside from that, I guess I've ticked off a few of the fish already. But yeah, definitely get onto a big king and hopefully, get out a bit more offshore as well and head out to the islands and that. So that's the plan, but that's the goal. Plan and the goal.
Yeah, fantastic. Sounds bloody exciting, and we look forward to being able to hear about all your adventures in SA Angler and keep up to speed with you on social media and that. Chaz, it's been fantastic to have a chat with you, and thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks heaps for the chat.
It's been great, Chaz. We look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Sounds good. Cheers for that.
See ya.
Alrighty, bye.
Diz, great to hear from Chaz tonight.
Chaz was excellent, very passionate about the fishing scene, Rhodey. Really good.
Yeah, she was a good guest, Diz. Threw in a bit of humour, plenty of knowledge.
Yeah, obviously loves a beer.
Yeah. I think she should have just kept the earring myself.
I think so too. Would have been, geez, I would have been there. We would have been conducting the surgery, I reckon, if we were there.
I think it'd make a real talking point.
Yeah, see, I reckon at some point it must have crossed their mind whether they just got the fishing knife and chopped a bit of the ear out.
I reckon if you've had enough beers, you could do it.
Of course you would. You got the campfire, so you can sterilise the knife. Simples.
All right, well, let's go down to Salt Creek and cut your ear off.
Rogue. Okay, Roddy. Let's sort of talk less about what we're going to harm each other with fishing equipment and maybe talk a bit more about what's making the fishing report this week. And we did talk about our sort of limited fishing adventures over the Easter long weekend, but you managed to get out at we're in there, Rhodey, and get onto some nice squid.
Diz, I caught an absolute bloody stonker.
A big one.
That was a big squid.
A big hood.
That was the biggest hooded squid I've caught in a long time, actually.
Yeah, okay. Good chilling?
Good chewing. Yeah, we did it. Actually, yeah, we ate the big one and the little one and left the 4 medium-sized ones. They're in the freezer.
Down at Carrick, or?
Yeah, we're in her.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, got 6.
Well done.
Put in the hard yards for whiting, but I'll tell you right now, there's not very many there.
Okay.
Personally, I didn't catch any. 2 Tommies.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, it's a nice part of the world, Diz, but I'm not sure they're known for their abundance of whiting. You do see reports of people getting whiting there.
Yeah.
We would have moved.
You have to go out pretty deep.
We would have moved 10 times and not caught one.
Disappointing.
Anyway.
Disappointing. Yes, well, we were over on the York Peninsula. Good feed of crabs. Late season crabs. Not going to be hanging around for too much longer.
Yeah, so tell us, Diz, were they like, 1 crab per pot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinning
Max.
out a bit, you weren't getting those 3s that you hope fell?
You had to leave them sort of drenching for a little while.
Yeah.
And you were maximum 1 per pot.
Yeah.
But not bad size.
Mostly size?
Not bad size, yeah. I think you tend to get, the smaller ones at the start of the season.
I think so, yeah.
But, got a few whiting, half a dozen,
Didn't
dozen.
threaten the bag.
Didn't threaten the bag.
Do you want to know why?
So many boats.
I don't think I was there, so that would be why I didn't get the bag.
So many boats.
We should actually do a graph on you going fishing on York Peninsula and whether you get the bag and whether I'm not there, because there is a direct correlation. There's a massive chance of you catching the bag if I'm there. If I'm not there, you're just not getting them.
You sound ridiculous, mate.
I'm talking truth.
The listeners are scoffing at that ridiculous, outlandish statement that you're making. But what I will say is only stupid fishing people work their best spots at the busiest time of the year.
Yeah, Diz, look, I agree.
You must agree with that.
Fishing is all about privacy.
You are not giving up your good spots when there's 50 other boats there.
It's a bit like when Bill Sando comes fishing with you, only going to the B spots.
You always know that Bill's probably carrying a pocket GPS.
He's just screenshotting him, sending him off to his mates.
Yeah, he's a real flog like that.
And this is a real test whether he actually listens to the podcast.
He does not. Though, seating time, maybe he gets bored.
Fair bit of tractor time at the moment.
Fair bit. Righto, ready? Let's move on to barrels because they're firing.
They
Lots
are,
of
Diz.
barrels being posted across the social media. Obviously, a great time to get down there if you can. And no surprises that Troll So Hard lures have been absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
Flacky would have had a busy time prepping for the barrel season, I reckon.
That actually reminds me, Diz, we need to pick up our spreader bar that I lost.
Yes, we
and
do.
Flacky made us a new one.
Good call. Brody.
But our good friend, another friend of the show, Bodie.
Yeah, Bodie Pannenberg. We had him on the show. Bodie's Fishing Adventures.
155 kilos is nothing to be laughed at, Diz.
That's an absolute stonker. I mean, most people would be absolutely thrilled to get 100.1 kilo SBT and be able to say, bang, I got the barrel, boys, over 100 kilos, we're laughing.
Yep.
He's 1.5 it.
And it set a new Port Mac Offshore Angling Club record.
No surprises there. Big fish.
It's unbelievable, Diz. Unbelievable.
No,
and he's got a
excellent.
few this season, I think, too, so good on him.
He has. And while we're on the subject of tuna, Rody, there are still some scattered reports. I know that some of those people have been doing okay on school fish. They've been getting some smaller
Down the southeast.
ones down in the southeast, but naturally most people who go down there will be targeting the bigger fish. But there are still some scattered reports, and Wanna Fish charters have been posting quite a few photos of some of their recent charters and doing quite well. Still coming home with a bag.
And they go from Warina, is that right, Diz?
Yeah, they do.
They've had a good year by the sounds.
They have.
I've seen plenty of pictures of them getting lots of fish when others haven't necessarily.
Yes. No. So very good indeed. Righto, Rody. Junior angler Cadell. Someone who we're very much looking forward to in the future having on the show, are we not?
We are, Diz.
Been doing all right on the Gould cockles.
Yeah, no, they got a good feed, him and his family.
A good feed or a good whiting feed?
They were certainly talking about using some for bait, but lots of people eat them.
Yeah. No, I don't dispute
I know they were going to take some out the next day. I didn't touch base to see how they went that next day.
I know why they cost so much.
Everyone's bloody eating them.
Ridiculous.
But even for bait, guys, it's bloody obvious, isn't it?
Who wants to stuff around little snot balls in their pasta?
What's next? We're going to eat bloody scrub worms for dinner.
We'll be eating sand for dinner before long.
Bloody ridiculous.
It is. Righto, Roddy. Well, that was a good little brief report.
Yeah, it is. We had lots of news, so we'll keep the report brief. We don't want to...
And, we do, of course, have our tackle item, which we do want to move on to before we round out the show today. And something which we're very much looking forward to doing more of is, of course, some jig fishing.
Yeah, it is.
And we've probably put the tuna lures away for the year, but naturally they'll get around, towards the latter half of this year.
Yeah.
Late in the year, who knows when the run might start. But what better way to keep those lures in good nick and very well organised than a lazy fisho tackle roll.
Yeah, Diz, I suppose our jigging collection has grown. I think we've both been doing some of those sneaky, online purchases. You see a special, I'll have 1 or 2. No, I'll have 10 of them.
Yeah. When they go, do you want 1 or 2? And then they all of a sudden say, but if you buy 10.
Yeah, so, and the jigs are heavy.
Yeah, they are.
So, if you get 100 gram, 200 gram jigs, you don't need many of them before one of those plastic trays gets very awkward.
Yes.
And the other thing is they're just that nice sort of chamfered shape. The weight and the shape of the jigs, they don't stay in those plastic tubs too well, Diz. They sort of seem to squirm their way out.
Yeah, they do. They just, I guess it's that constant sort of just banging, gravity force.
And what happened is when I was going away for Easter, I picked up my trays to work out which ones I needed and noticed that the jigs were a mess. They were all down one end. They got out of their little compartments.
All a bit tangled.
They're tangled. The lid of the plastic container was bowing.
Frustrating.
Because of all the weight, and they were moving from compartment to compartment, falling out the end. It was no good, Diz, so we have got the lazy fisho. I suppose you'd call it a jig roll.
Yes.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. I think it's a lure or jig roll.
And it's spacious.
It's very spacious. It's certainly extremely sturdy.
It's well constructed.
Velcro sort of pouches with very tough plastic to ensure that the sort of hooks don't pierce it easily.
And it's got the mesh at the top and bottom to breathe.
Yeah, you want to be able to let a bit of that moisture out.
There's not much worse than rusty hooks.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree with you anymore. So basically, get on the Lazy Fisho website, have a look. If you're into lure fishing, you need one of these.
You certainly do, Diz. We'd highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff, Rody. Well, that just about rounds out today's episode. Where can you find it?
Diz, this episode will be coming up on obviously the Buzzsprout site.
Yes.
So you can get to through our Facebook or our Instagram. You'll find it on Apple Music. You'll find it on Spotify.
Yep, it'll be all over the socials. It'll be everywhere on Facebook.
You'll be hearing about it, guys.
Not long before we team up with Elon Musk and create Twitter's inaugural podcast.
Well, I'm on Twitter from a personal perspective, but maybe we need to take the podcast to Twitter.
We might need to Twitter the podcast. We could rival some of Henry Good's farm chats.
Yeah, we could. I might do it, Diz.
All right.
But in the meantime, before we get Twitter, make sure you tag us in your Facebook and your Instagram whenever you go fishing, whether you have a good catch or not, or even if you just want to hurl a bit of abuse at your mates. Keep us in the loop. We love the banter.
Yeah, talk to us about it. We love hearing from you, and good to chat to you today, guys.
See you guys.
Rody and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.